Imagine a political earthquake shaking the heart of Europe, where record-breaking voter turnout meets unexpected election outcomes and global power plays redefine alliances. In today's documentary, we reveal how Germany's pivotal election has paved the way for dramatic coalition talks, while transatlantic tensions intensify with bold new moves from Washington. Stay with us as we uncover the proof behind these shifts, the immense value they hold for European stability, the structure of emerging alliances, and the high stakes at play for global democracy. Welcome to Omni, where we dissect today's most transformative political events. As the counting concluded in Germany's recent election, three key outcomes emerged. First, the opposition conservative bloc, comprising the Christian Democrats, CDU, and their Bavarian partners, CSU, secured a clear yet underwhelming victory with 29% of the vote. This result sets the stage for their candidate, Friedrich Merz, to potentially succeed Olaf Scholz as Chancellor after intense coalition negotiations. Second, the hard-right alternative for Germany, AfD, surged to an unprecedented 21%, particularly dominating the eastern regions, signaling a seismic shift in voter sentiment. Third, an extraordinary turnout of 83%, the highest since reunification, underscores the deep engagement and polarization within the electorate. Before we dive deeper, make sure to subscribe and hit the like button to join us on this journey into the evolving world of European politics. What will it take for Friedrich Merz to mend a divided nation while contending with rising populism and turbulent coalition dynamics? Let's find out. In the wake of the election, the numbers tell a compelling story. The CDU-CSU's modest 29% victory, achieved partly due to the outgoing government's waning popularity, signals a cautious mandate from the voters. Meanwhile, the AfD's remarkable 21% showing has doubled its representation in the Bundestag, marking its best-ever result. The Social Democrats, SPD, traditionally a stalwart of German politics, suffered a historic setback with only 16% of the vote. This unexpected result now forces the country into a delicate dance of coalition formation. Political insiders are already speculating on the implications. The CDU-CSU, despite their numerical win, face the daunting task of forming a government. Their likely partner, the SPD, now holds a slim majority margin, about 13 seats, raising concerns about whether deep-rooted ideological differences can be bridged. With the Greens set to remain in opposition and the newly emergent Sarah Wagenknecht-led alliance missing the crucial 5% threshold, Germany finds itself at a crossroads. The electorate's overwhelming engagement, reflected in an 83% turnout, underscores the urgency of restoring faith in a system many feel has long been in disrepair. How will these divergent political forces overcome entrenched disagreements to form a stable government? The answer may shape not only Germany's future, but also that of Europe as a whole. As the dust settles on election night, the road ahead for Germany's new leaders is riddled with challenges. Friedrich Merz, the front-runner for Chancellor, faces not only the task of uniting a fractured parliament, but also the need to rebuild trust in a system plagued by long-standing disillusionment. With coalition talks already hinting at a narrow majority, the necessity for compromise is paramount. Yet ideological rifts loom large. At the heart of these challenges lies the issue of policy compromise. Merz's staunch stance on border controls and a hardline approach to immigration have already ruffled feathers among potential partners, particularly the SPD and the Greens. Compounding these difficulties is the constitutional debt brake, a rule that restricts the federal government's ability to run substantial deficits. With Germany's crumbling infrastructure and soaring defense expenditures demanding hundreds of billions in investments, any reluctance to ease this fiscal constraint could impede vital reforms. Critics within Merz's own party are already questioning his judgment, especially following his inflammatory remarks about green and left-wing idiots during the campaign. These internal tensions are emblematic of a broader European dilemma: the struggle to balance fiscal responsibility with the need for dynamic, forward-looking governance. As coalition partners grapple with reconciling divergent ideologies, the question remains, can they forge an alliance robust enough to face both domestic and international headwinds? Stay tuned as we shift our gaze beyond Germany to a transatlantic narrative that is equally fraught with dramatic tension and high stakes. While Germany's political landscape undergoes a profound transformation, the global stage is set for its own dramatic realignments. The recent diplomatic maneuvers surrounding Ukraine have brought unprecedented attention to the United States' role in international negotiations. Under the shadow of Donald Trump's unconventional diplomacy, American negotiators have presented Ukraine with a series of proposals infamously described in stages as bad, better, and disastrous. At the core of these negotiations is a controversial demand. Ukraine is asked to transfer a significant share of future profits from its natural resources and infrastructure, essentially sacrificing long-term sovereignty for immediate aid. This proposal, with figures inflated to an astonishing $500 billion in aid, has sparked outrage and confusion among Ukrainian officials. Leaders in Kyiv fear that accepting such terms would not only compromise their nation's economic future, but also set a dangerous precedent in international diplomacy. In heated discussions, officials have characterized the process as less a negotiation and more a form of extortion, where every concession risks igniting domestic unrest and international condemnation. If these high-stakes diplomatic maneuvers intrigue you, be sure to like and subscribe for more deep dives into global politics. Can Ukraine withstand this pressure without ceding too much control? And what does this mean for the balance of power in Europe and beyond? The ripple effects of aggressive US policy extend even further, reaching the shores of Britain, a nation with long-standing ties to Washington. As part of a broader strategy that mirrors his administration's hardline stance, Trump's trade officials have turned their attention to imposing levies on key imports such as aluminum, steel, cars, and even pharmaceuticals. For Britain, these potential tariffs are a double-edged sword. While traditional trade metrics show a balanced exchange between the two nations, conflicting figures from different statistical agencies hint at deeper complexities. Analysts note that although a 20 to 25% tariff might sound drastic, its direct impact on the British economy is estimated to be less than 1% of GDP. Britain's diversified export markets and proximity to continental Europe provide it with alternative avenues should the transatlantic trade relationship sour. Nevertheless, the political rhetoric surrounding these measures has already begun to reshape debates in Westminster, with policymakers weighing the risks of economic isolation against the potential benefits of a reformed trading framework. The situation is further complicated by America's broader protectionist agenda, which has also affected Canada and Mexico, nations that, unlike Britain, rely heavily on their trade with the United States. What will be the long-term implications for global trade if these aggressive tariffs become the new norm? The answers may redefine international economic policies in the coming years. As our exploration of these intertwined narratives draws to a close, the overarching theme becomes clear. We are witnessing the birth of a new geopolitical era. In Germany, the electoral victory of the CDU-CSU, despite its underwhelming mandate, marks a turning point in a nation desperate for renewed leadership and clear direction. Yet the narrow coalition and lingering ideological divides suggest that the road ahead will be anything but smooth. Merz's challenges, ranging from internal party dissent to hardline stances on immigration and fiscal policy, reflect broader struggles for political credibility and unity in an era of rapid change. Across the Atlantic, the high-stakes negotiations with Ukraine and the aggressive trade posturing by the Trump administration illustrate a world in flux where traditional alliances are tested by unconventional tactics. From controversial demands over natural resources to the nuanced impacts of tariffs on international trade, the evolving narrative underscores a fundamental truth. Global politics today is defined as much by bold ambition as it is by intricate compromise. We invite you to share your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think lies ahead for Germany, Europe, and the Transatlantic Alliance? And if you found this deep dive enlightening, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video with fellow enthusiasts of global affairs. Stay tuned to Omni for more incisive analysis and compelling storytelling as we continue to chart the seismic shifts shaping our world.